How's it going? My name is Jumpy. Just a heads up that this is going to be one of those videos where I barely talk about the movie I'm reviewing and spend way too much time talking about other things that are only tangentially related to it. Check it. Logan is part of the X-Men series, and I'm not too familiar with that franchise. I saw the first movie about 20 years ago, and I really didn't like it very much. I remember my older brother told me the sequel was even better, but I didn't care enough to watch it at the time. Many years later in 2016, Deadpool came out, which is in the same universe as the X-Men movies. I watched it not long after it was released on home video. I liked it. I didn't see any of the other movies until late 2024 when I rewatched Deadpool, and I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I did the first time. I like that it's fairly small in scale, and I really love how it's structured with the flashbacks. Not all of the jokes work, but it's a lot of fun and very meta and clever. Afterwards, I saw the sequel. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but it has its moments. My main complaints are that it isn't as fresh as the first one, and it feels a little long. I only watched the theatrical cut, not the extended one, which is 15 minutes longer. There have been many times when I've watched a movie and then very shortly afterwards watched its sequel that was a rehash, and then I've been fine with that. Looking back on it now, maybe it was just the Deadpool character and me needing a break until I saw him again. I don't know. I already wanted to see Logan before I was going to watch Deadpool 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. But Deadpool 2 references Logan in its first couple minutes and spoils the heck out of it. That's my bad for watching these movies in the wrong order. I still planned on watching Logan next anyway, but a lot of other things happened. Like me watching all of Twin Peaks. And it took me almost 7 months to get around to Logan, and then another however many fucking months until I'm recording this video, so here we are. I wasn't initially planning to do a review since I didn't cover Deadpool 1 and 2, but there are a few things I want to discuss, so I changed my mind. Logan is from the director of Copland, which I need to talk about for a second. I saw it once a long time ago. It was a couple years after I watched X-Men. I thought it was average and pretty forgettable. Like, I think Stallone was underwater at one point, and I think Michael Rappaport ran away from something. However, not too long after I saw it, I found out that one of my friends, who was a few years older than me, went to college with someone who was in the movie Copland as a child actor. I think it's alright for me to continue this Logan review, even though I knew someone who worked with the movie's director before. I don't believe there's a conflict of interest here. And Copland is a movie that I'll bring up sometimes as a joke. Whenever I do that with another one of my friends now, I'm always met with a response of, "God damn it, Jumpy." Like, "Oh, you need a last name for your character in this video game? Use Copland." Or another situation. Whenever we watch something, we always connect it back to Star Trek in as few steps as possible. He started this and is a lot better at it because he's a fan. The only Star Trek I've seen is the movie Section 31, which was really bad and not even in a funny way. At some point, I'll watch The Next Generation, but until then, I'll just use my very limited knowledge of who's been on Trek for this game, so it always takes me more steps. Most recently, I rewatched the first Spy Kids with another one of my friends, and it came up in a conversation, so I took the scenic route to connect it to Star Trek. Spy Kids has Robert Patrick, who is in Copland, which has Robert De Niro, who is in Mean Streets, which has Harvey Keitel, who is in Copland, which was directed by James Mangold, who directed Logan, which stars Patrick Stewart, who was on Star Trek. Alright, that's enough. Logan. The movie, of course, is about Logan, the Wolverine from X-Men. He had 2 solo movies before this, but I'm starting with this one. At the beginning, he works as a chauffeur but still kills people if he feels like it's necessary. A woman shows up asking for his help, and he refuses at first. He later meets her at a motel and finds out she wants him to take her daughter Laura to Canada. Logan returns later and sees that the woman has already been killed, so he goes to visit Dr. Xavier. The girl snuck into his limo's trunk, and it turns out she's a mutant similar to Logan. Now they have a bad guy on their trail. It took me about half an hour to really get on board with this one. The movie immediately begins with profanity and graphic violence. The cursing felt a little forced to me. I've brought it up before that the Martin Scorsese picture Casino is my favorite movie, and the word fuck is used hundreds of times in that. So I'm fine with it when it sounds natural to me. A more extreme example of a movie with forced cursing is Rob Zombie's 31, the sectionless movie, which I watched a little while back. I did not like that film. Logan wasn't anywhere near as bad as that, but I still couldn't shake the feeling at first that they were trying too hard to earn their R rating. The gore in the movie also uses a lot of digital effects, and they don't always look the best to me. It's not a huge deal either, but worth mentioning. But when the three characters of Logan, Laura, and Xavier meet up is when the movie went from this is alright to I really like this. It's a road trip movie, and they make pit stops at places like a gas station, a family's house, and a hotel. There are a lot of memorable moments and fun action scenes. I didn't have a problem with either the cursing or the CGI as the movie went along. It made me care about the characters even without me knowing all of their backstories, and the acting is uniformly very strong. I mentioned earlier that Deadpool 2 spoils something big from Logan, and I totally forgot about it while I was watching Logan until not long before it happened. That didn't hurt the movie for me, and it was really well done. The film doesn't really do anything that unique, but I enjoyed it a lot and I'd watch it again. I'm giving Logan an 8 out of 10. Check it out if you trust my opinion, unless you think I'm too close to this movie's production. Before I go, I want to give my quick thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, which I watched the night after I saw Logan. I thought it was really good. I liked it more than the second Deadpool movie, but not as much as the first. It's more of the same and delivered what I expected. Some jokes don't work, but a lot of parts made me laugh and caught me off guard. Something that I want to mention is that there's a Rumpelstiltskin pun, and also a joke that uses the words pound and sound in it. In my Saw videos, I also used different Rumpelstiltskin puns and made a joke with the words pound and sound in it. Obviously, I came up with those jokes on my own, and they're not exactly the same. I just thought it was a funny coincidence when I was watching Deadpool 3. But yeah, on the off chance you like the first two Deadpool movies and haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. At least give the first Deadpool a chance if you haven't seen any of them. As far as other X-Men movies go, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I plan on going back and revisiting the first one and checking out the others because I enjoyed Logan so much. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.